the strangest places in the universe that actually exist.
Look up at the night sky.
It seems like space is a calm and peaceful place.
Stars quietly shimmer. Planets slowly move along their orbits. And everything appears surprisingly serene. But this impression is deceptive. In reality, the universe is a place where events of unimaginable scale happen. Stars explode.
Galaxies collide, space itself stretches,
And objects become so dense that they break our understanding of physics.
and today we're going on a
Journey through some of the
strangest and most fascinating.
corners of the cosmos. Let's start with our home, the Milky Way galaxy.
It's a gigantic system about 100,000 light years across and containing roughly 200 to 400 billion stars.
If you tried counting them one by one at a rate of 1 star per second, it would take you more than 10,000 years to finish. But even in such a massive galaxy, everything is constantly moving.
Our sun, for example, travels around the center of the
Galaxy at about 800,000 kilometers per hour.
one full orbit takes around 230 million years. That means the last time the sun was in this exact position in the galaxy,
Dinosaurs were just beginning to appear on Earth. And that's only the beginning.
at the center of the Milky Way lies a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A.
Its mass is about 4
million times greater than the mass of the sun. It doesn't behave like a giant cosmic vacuum cleaner, sucking everything around it. In fact, most objects simply orbit it peacefully.
But if something gets too close,
Gravity becomes so powerful that it
stretches the object,
into long, thin strands of matter. Astronomers call this process spaghettification.
yes, that's the real scientific nickname. And if you think this is rare,
It turns out that nearly every large,
galaxy has a supermassive black hole at its center. Now let's look at one of
the most powerful events in the universe, a supernova explosion.
when a massive star dies.
It can explode so brightly that for a short time, it outshines its entire galaxy. During these explosions, many of the elements that make up planets, and even us, are created. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, and the oxygen we breathe were all forged inside ancient stars. In a very real sense, we are literally made of stardust. After a supernova explosion, one of the strangest objects in the universe is often left behind. A neutron star.
Imagine a star more massive.
Then the sun being compressed down to a sphere only about 20 kilometers across. That's roughly the size of a large city. The density becomes so extreme that a single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh around 1 billion tons. But even among neutron stars, there are true extremes.
They are called magnetars. These are objects with the strongest magnetic fields known in the entire universe.
The magnetic field of a magnetar is so powerful that it can actually distort the structure of atoms. If one were located halfway between Earth and the Moon, it could wipe the data from every magnetic card on our planet.
Yes, including your bank cards.
Fortunately, the nearest magnetars are extremely far away. But space surprises us with much more than just stars. Over the past few decades, astronomers have discovered thousands of exoplanets, planets outside our solar system. And some of them are so strange, they almost sound like science fiction. For example, the planet HD 189733b experiences rain made of glass. Powerful winds accelerate tiny silicate particles to speeds of about
7,000 kilometers per hour.
turning the atmosphere into a sideways storm of razor-sharp glass. There are planets where temperatures exceed 2,000 degrees Celsius. There are planets where a year lasts only a few hours. Some worlds may even have oceans made of molten lava. There are also so-called hot Jupiters, massive gas giants, that orbit extremely close to their stars.
So close that their atmospheres are literally being blown away into space.
Some scientists even believe there may be ocean worlds in our galaxy.
Planets completely covered by water, hundreds of kilometers deep.
According to current estimates, the Milky Way alone may contain hundreds of billions of planets.
But the farther we look into space,
The more we realize that planets are only a tiny part of the bigger picture. Galaxies gather together into galaxy clusters. Clusters combine into superclusters.
And together they form an enormous structure astronomers call the cosmic web. This is a vast network of filaments, made of galaxies and dark matter, stretching across the observable universe.
Some of these filaments extend for hundreds of millions of light years.
Even traveling at the speed of light,
it would take millions of years to cross one of them. Between these filaments lie enormous cosmic voids,
gigantic regions where almost no galaxies exist.
Sometimes these voids can span hundreds of millions of light years. These regions are called cosmic voids, and although they appear completely empty, they aren't truly empty. Inside them, there may still be a small number of galaxies, gas, and dark matter. But their density is so low that, by cosmic standards, they are almost perfect emptiness.
Some of the largest known voids are more than 300 million light-years across.
For comparison, our entire galaxy is only about 100,000 light-years wide. In other words,
thousands of galaxies like the Milky Way could fit inside one of these voids. But instead, almost nothing is there. Over time, these voids continue to grow as gravity pulls matter toward the denser regions at their edges,
leaving their centers increasingly empty. But the universe also contains other extremes.
For example, the coldest places imaginable.
The lowest temperature matter can theoretically reach is called absolute zero, about minus 273 degrees Celsius. And there are places in space that come surprisingly close to this limit. One of the coldest known locations is the Boomerang Nebula.
Temperatures there reach roughly minus 272 degrees Celsius.
That's even colder than the cosmic background radiation that fills the universe. In fact, it is considered the coldest natural place ever observed.
But perhaps the strangest question of all is,
what would happen if you fell into a black hole? As you approached one, you would first notice something very unusual. Time itself would begin to slow down relative to the rest of the universe. The closer you get to the event horizon, the more gravity bends space and time. To an outside observer,
you would appear to slow down and almost freeze at the edge of the black hole. But for you, time would feel normal. You would continue falling inward. Eventually, the difference in gravity
between your head and your feet would become enormous, stretching your body longer and longer until it turned into a thin stream of matter.
Once again, spaghettification.
But the greatest mystery of the universe may not be stars or galaxies. It may be the things we cannot see at all. About 27% of the universe is made of dark matter. We still do not know what it actually is.
It does not emit light and barely interacts with ordinary matter.
But without it, galaxies simply wouldn't hold together.
And about 68% of the universe appears to be something even stranger, dark energy.
This mysterious force is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. In other words, galaxies are moving away from each other faster and faster.
This means that in the extremely distant future,
the night sky will look very different.
Galaxies outside our local group will drift so far away that
their light will no longer be able to reach us. Only a few nearby galaxies will remain visible, surrounded by a vast cosmic darkness. But that future is still unimaginably far away. For now, the universe remains an incredibly active,
strange, and fascinating place. Stars are born and die. Galaxies collide.
Black holes consume matter.
And space itself continues to expand.
The most amazing part is that we are only beginning to understand all of this.
Every year, telescopes discover new planets,
new galaxies, and new cosmic mysteries.
And it's very possible that the most astonishing discoveries are still ahead. If you enjoyed this, journey through some of the strangest and most
incredible places in the universe. Stay with us. On this channel,
we continue exploring space, science,
and the discoveries that change how we see reality. And there are many more incredible stories ahead.
Because the universe is a place that never stops surprising us.